Hi everyone, me again from the lovely little town of Locust, North Carolina, headed toward Charlotte, although I'm not going to go to Charlotte. I'm just heading in that direction. This is the food area of Locust, KFC, Bojangles, Taco Bell. Got some nice restaurants off to the right there, Tailgaters, a few others. Nice Mexican restaurant down here in the Walmart, Super Walmart Plaza. You got McDonald's. Little Locust sure has grown up. I moved out here, moved out into the Stanfield area, which is a little town adjacent to Locust. Moved out here maybe 30 some odd years ago. And at that time, this was a 2-lane road. There was no Walmart, there was no nothing. This was all just farms. Now these houses on the left were here, but there was nothing. But you know, that's what happens in little towns sometimes if they're prosperous. Things start growing, and next thing you know, you got a 4-lane with the divided highway. We sure did make it a lot easier to get to work and get home. But you know, those days are long gone for me. I'm long retired now and pretty much useless for anything, except sitting on the sofa or maybe riding this motorcycle. But out stretching the legs on the Yamaha. It hadn't been ridden in a while, and I thought it'd be time to get it out. We'll go down the Reed Goldmine road here. My wife's maiden name is Reed, but it's not spelled that way, so she's not an heiress to the Reed Goldmine, but unfortunately. But real interesting story. Sometime if you're bored and sitting around, just Google the Reed Goldmine in Locust, and some interesting talk about the discovery of gold here. A big giant, I want to say it was 17-pound rock that a family found, and they didn't know what it was and used it for a doorstop. And someone figured out what it was, and they sold it. I think they sold it for $300 to some guy, and it was worth like $36,000. So he got a deal and they got screwed. But that was the beginning of gold production here in this area of North Carolina. The mine will be up here on our right. We're not going to go into it or anything, but we're going to go by it. But the old Yamaha seems to be running well. I knew it would be. It's I'll talk about it, and so that if it does break, it'll break right now. It's never let me down. It's funny, I told the story and did a video on it. I even broke the primary pulley on this thing while we were one time up in the mountains, and I still was able to ride it another 300 miles on a broken pulley. It got me home. So would you say it's a love affair? Yes, it is, but you know how it is. Sometimes you can have two. And I got the Riker 2 to ride. Mostly around the Atlanta area. The Riker really is in its own up in the mountains on the little low-speed mountain twisty roads. That's where it's really a lot of fun. But it's fun all the time. It's just more fun there. And the same for the Yamaha. The Yamaha is a lot of fun up in the mountains. I just keep wearing front tires out like crazy. I guess when you push this thing, it tends to push a little bit with the front end when you're really getting on it. And but I got a brand new rubber on it now, and I'm not going to be pushing it any on this road by any means. Sure is nice to get out here and around. I haven't been down this road in a while. You get to Locust, North Carolina. This is on the Charlotte side. Just before you get into town, you'll see Reed Goldmine signs on your left, and you can go down here and take a tour, I believe, still of it. I'm not sure what the COVID did to them, but you can come down here and enjoy it. It's a nice little neighborhood. Look at the nice field. That's pretty right there. You got the wildflowers out. This is the perfect time of year, getting into the spring here. Everything is green and lush and shaking off the old winter that we had here. You know, it doesn't really get all that cold here for those of you who don't live in this area, but it does get wet, pretty wet. There we go. There's a nice little corner. Sneak up on you. But it's just real nice out in this way. It's going to get hot later today. It's going to be in the 80s, so I'm trying to get my ride in early. still cool. I've got some things to do this afternoon. I'm going to go visit a friend I haven't seen in a while. His health hadn't been all that great. But, see if we can't get his lawnmower running. It's always fun. Work on some stuff like that. Or got a neighbor's lawnmower. Neighbor brought me a lawnmower. Said, I'm so sick of this thing. It never starts. Blah, blah, blah. I can't work on it. One of those ones with the automatic choke and there's nothing you can do. It doesn't even have a throttle. You know, it's just got a lever that you throw to keep it running. And took the carburetor apart, cleaned it up a little bit, and run like a top. And so we got that fixed. I got a string trim reverse to work on next. That'll be a little more difficult. Usually those carburetors, there's the Reed Goldmine right there, by the way. Those carburetors get ruined pretty easily on string trimmers, as you know, but they're not expensive, and if I have to get a carb for it, I'll get one for it, and we get it running. She likes it because she is not a large person, and she likes the bent shaft on her string trimmer, so you know, because it's easier, it's lower, it's easier for her to use it, and it's more comfortable. So we'll get her going again on that. But kind of fun. I'm not really a mechanic. I tried to be one for a while and decided that I was better suited to behind the parts counter than I was in the shop, temperamentally and with my ability. But I'm not a bad little shade tree mechanic. I'm not afraid to take anything apart. As my dad once said, there's nothing you can break that somebody else can't fix. And he's always been right about that. If I can't fix it, I'll find some parts, which I know how to do, and we'll get her going again. But sometimes I miss working. I miss seeing all the people. I had so many friends there, and my customers were my friends. And talked to them every day, and every day was a little different, and yet the same. You know, it's like having our camper on the truck. You know, everywhere you go is different, but you're still sleeping in the same bed at night. You know, that kind of thing. So, oh well, there's a little horsey by the fence. Hello, horsey. Boy, I've dealt with horses all my life. I don't ride them. I just ended up feeding them and paying for the vet bill and paying for the farrier and all that. But I've told that story before. My daughter's still involved in horses. My son isn't, but my daughter is big time. So you can see it's a nice little road. I've got some guy that's been behind me the whole way, and normally with my wife and I'd pull over because we'd be running a little bit slower, but it's 45 here. I'm running at least 45, and he can be just happy just to sit behind me. I don't care. But it's a nice area. And we're going to come down here. This is a little town of, I don't want to say Georgeville. I believe this is the Georgeville Fire Department, Volunteer Fire Department here on the right. The guy here on the left, you can get you some mulch or some rock, or he has firewood certain times of the year, stuff like that. The old guy sits in his truck there most of the time. There he is. He's loading. There he is, loading the guy up with some mulch. Cool job. You can get it. All right, yeah, I was right. My memory wasn't too bad. Georgeville Volunteer Fire Department. Just a little community. They don't even have a flashing red light. So we're gonna head back in toward the Locust area. Again, I'm just out. I don't really have anywhere to go. I'm just riding the old Yamaha around just to make sure it's doing well, and because I miss it and love it, and don't get to ride it as much as I want to. Hopefully that's going to change here soon. Freeing up my schedule to be up here a lot more often, and who knows, someday might be up here 100% again, except for traveling, for having fun. But I like this area of the country. This is this was as far away from Charlotte, where I was born. This is as far away from there as I could go and still have a reasonable drive to work. I don't know what you consider reasonable. My very last 3 years that I worked, I was transferred to another store, and it was on a bad day it was an hour and a half commute. On a good day it was an hour and 10 minutes. that's just the difference traffic made. And yes, I'm riding around in 4th gear just because I'm trying to run the motor in a little bit, make sure it gets good and warm and all that. Kicked her up into 5th. It's a good old bike. It's a great cruiser. I got this thing to fit me. It still fits me like a glove. It took me a long time to get this exactly the way I like it. And it's really, and I know people say this and they don't mean it. I really mean it. This is as comfortable as any sofa or lazy boy that I have in the house. The positioning of my feet, my legs, got a great ultimate seat. I got a great backrest, ultimate backrest on it. Just couldn't ask for more as far as riding. I'm doing my best to get the Riker as comfortable, and I'm pretty close, but it's not there yet. But it's going to have to do what it is. I'm not going to spend any more money on it as far as the seat goes. But I do have my feet about right on the Riker finally, and it is comfortable. I'm still breaking in the seat on it. So I've got a new Corbin on it. I'm breaking it in. But this is Highway 200 headed into Locust, and pretty much the way I came into town. It's just the opposite side of Locust. And back her down a little bit, down to 45. This is the way we're heading now. If we keep going, we'll eventually end up in Union County, heading toward Monroe. If I go back the way we came, we end up going up toward, well, not really to Mount Pleasant, but toward Charlotte, toward that area of Charlotte. The surrounding communities, let's put it that way, I guess you'd say. The old flying field is back this way behind me. You know, a lot of this stuff is new. It's not new since I've been by here recently, but it's all new since I moved out here. I would love to get a new house. Susan always mentions something about maybe getting something on the water somewhere, a stream or a lake or a creek or something like that. I don't know if that's going to happen. I wouldn't mind moving a little farther out someday, but moving is such a chore. And like anyone else, you know, if you've lived anywhere for over 30 years, you've got so much crap, or at least I do. It'd take me a year to even think about sorting it all out and getting rid of it. I'm not using any of it. It's all sitting in a garage or a closet or something like that. But that's how it goes. But fortunately, we have the camper, so we can just up and go and enjoy all the benefits of moving without moving. So, anyway, that place was for sale 2 years ago. I forget what it was. I think it might have been a ministry at one time, Christian ministry or something like that. But lots of farmland out here still, which really makes this a great place. A lot of land for sale out here. It's not cheap. Prices have gone way up. I think when I bought my property over 30 years ago, I think I paid a little over $2,000 an acre for my place, and now it's about $20,000 an acre, depending on where you are. My property's not worth quite that much. I don't have water and sewer from the city in there, so I've got a well and a septic tank, and that will keep anybody from buying my place and putting several houses on it, maybe a little neighborhood. But as soon as that water and sewer gets out there, I'm gonna be a thousandaire, maybe 100,000aire. That'd be great. But that's funny. Of course, I am retired. I'm fortunate between Social Security and a lovely wife and some investments and her pension and all that. We can live pretty good. That was a really good Mexican restaurant years ago. I think they probably still are, but we don't go there. We have another one we like better. But so, you know, I don't really need you get old like me, you don't need a lot of money unless you get sick or something. I've been very fortunate. I've been very healthy. I've got my aches and pains, stuff like that, all associated with getting older. But you know, all in all, I'm doing great. I'm doing a lot better than anybody else I know. For all my friends, I'm a whole lot better. Anyway, on that somber note, or happy note, whatever, hope everybody's having a great day. I'm gonna log off. This is where I started my previous videos, and so we'll just end up here. I'm just gonna ride her back to the house. Not that much interest in going back through Stanfield again. So hope everybody's having a great day, and get out and ride if you can. As you can see here in lovely Locust, North Carolina, it's absolutely a gorgeous day. Take care, everyone. Bye.